we're talking about the slippery slopes of vanity. Starting out,
my body had, in a sense, become my idol and my God. And
a sin that I really struggled with, that I have acknowledged recently, is pride and vanity.
With self-idolatry is a sin. It might be hard to...
Welcome to Tambourine Chronicles. My name is Kenora. In today's video, we will address the topic of vanity. Why talk about vanity? Because we live in a society that is so consumed with self-gratification and glorification. And in the age of social media, it is so easy to fall prey to vanity. I will share testimonies of people who overcame vanity by the grace of God. Let's listen to the first testimony.
here. Today, we're talking about the slippery slopes of vanity. Starting out, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look good, wanting to feel good, wanting to put on a little perfume, wanting to do a little lippy. But what are your intentions? What is your heart posture like? Look at yourself. Are you one of the girls that feel like you can't go outside without having your hair done and your nails done without makeup on? Are you one of the girls that don't like their natural beauty? Do you not like your skin? Do you not like your hair? Do you not like your nails? Are you making beauty in your body an idol? I want you to go to God and ask God to reveal your heart posture to you pertaining to vanity. Definitely seen this before. God might even go as far as telling you, hey, don't wear nails for a period of time. Go 30 days without wearing makeup. Get rid of makeup. Stop flat ironing your hair. It varies from person to person, and sometimes it's also necessary to take a break. It says in Proverbs 31:30, charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. If you feel like you have to have your hair in before you leave out of the house, otherwise you think you're ugly, there's an issue. Yes, our body is a temple, but what are the intentions with your temple? How do you perceive your temple? Be gentle with yourself. Give yourself grace. Ask God for healing and the first step to conquering it over this. Follow me if you...
I want to talk about vanity. So let's read up on what does vanity actually mean in the Bible. So it says, vanity, meaning in the Bible, is pride in oneself or one's appearance. It is also the excessive belief of one's beauty, talents, wealth, achievements, and compared to others. So if you think about that, right? Vanity is really just like you're all about yourself. It's like this prideful spirit that I know for a fact I used to have that, especially in high school. I was all about my looks, my hair, how pretty, I was to somebody. If there was always a girl in high school who was called like the prettiest girl, I would always want to like one up them, and I would always want to be known as the prettiest girl. I always wanted to, be like the baddest girl on Instagram. I also ran track, so everybody in high school knew my name when it came to that, and I liked it. I liked that everyone knew who I was, and everyone knew like I was this pretty cute track girl who, like was just so cute and, all this stuff. And it made me very prideful, especially knowing that a lot of guys, like, they gave me attention, right? And when I came to Christ, I do realize that I liked all of those things because I was always searching for something. I never felt good enough, so I was always searching for, achievements and compliments and in my looks, and I was always trying to please others, and I wanted to feel good and loved, and I wanted to be known, because I just didn't feel loved, especially growing up without a male figure in your life. Of course, you're gonna want male attention somewhere else. So I loved when a bunch of guys were always giving me attention and all these things. And as I got older, I began to become very self-indulged. Like, I was all about me. Everything was all about me. I know that, like, I would post so many Instagram posts just about like me being all cute. My makeup was always done. My makeup was always done. My hair was always done. I always cared about how many likes that I got on the post. I used to love it when, everyone used to call me like an influencer, like Kaya, like you give influencer. Like, I used to love that. I just like that was I would feed off of that, right? When I came to Christ, he definitely made me put that down, and I had to realize and unpack the reason why I was like that was because I didn't love myself, and so I was always looking for love somewhere else to make me feel good about who I was. I always cared about people's opinions about my beauty and about my talents and about, my brains and all these things. But It's been a year since I've been walking with God, and all I can say is that I do not care about any of that stuff. I know that I am beautiful because God says that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I know that I am smart. I know that I am talented, and I don't seek attention from any man, anybody. I don't want all of that attention because, God has shown me that I am so precious in his eyes, and I don't need to be prideful, and I don't need to be, just looking for attention like anywhere else. Like I have God, all I need and all I will ever want and need in my life. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, God has humbled me so much, and like I have such a quiet spirit and such a quiet confidence. Like, I love myself, I know who I am, but I don't need to post all the time on Instagram. I don't need to, be in competition. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. Like, I just don't care about that stuff anymore. Like, I used to be into social media so much, especially like when it came to girl influencers and makeup and all that stuff, and I still am, but it's to the point where like I don't really care about being the prettiest girl in the room and all these things, because you know what, I am so beautiful in God's eyes. He has humbled me and gave me such a confidence within myself to where I know who I am in him, and I don't need to seek those things in the world, because God has been feeding me his word about who I am, who he's made me to be, all these beautiful things. So it's like, I don't really care about that stuff. I don't really care to, be the most known girl. Like, no, I don't care. I'm a young woman who loves Christ.
Before salvation, I was a very materialistic person. I had become very vain. I would wear all the extensions. I would have my nails done. My nails would not done. Like, I would get them redone before the time. My body had, in a sense, become my idol and my God. And it's really aggravating to even say that now, but I just wanted to share a little bit of where I come from. So it was the hair, it was the nails, it was the tight fitting clothes, preferably a bodycon, drop neck, plunge neck dress is what I would wear. So then fast forward, I get saved, and one of the hard things in the transition of becoming, who God wanted me to be, was that he taught me early that you have to die to yourself. Everything that you have value in, if that's not something I've told you to value, then you need to not value it. And it's very easy to just say that, but when my looks had become, such a gold standard to who I was, like I felt like I was a good woman. I knew that I was valuable even outside of that. But the fact that I had a degree, the fact that I was going to have this amazing career, and I felt like I looked good, oh, you can tell me nothing. So that just put like the stamp on it for me, is that I know that I was a nice looking woman, I was successful, and that I walked in a confidence that I didn't feel like everybody had. But I had made my looks an idol. I did not feel like my looks defined me. I just felt like that I was the whole package. I walked like, with a lot of confidence, but I was cool. Like, I was just still a cool, laid back person. When I came into God, he showed me that I couldn't value those things anymore. And I remember, y'all, one time getting dressed, and I was walking past the mirror, and every time I walked past my mirror, I would look at myself like, girl, you just looked at yourself like 5 minutes ago. Why you keep looking at yourself? And now I'm saved, okay? God told me it's just dirt. It is just dirt. Like, how simple-minded how simple-minded must you be to think that dirt deserves this much value and attention? And I thought about it, like, when we die, this literally goes back to the dirt where it came from. People spend so much time building and working on their dirt, the outside, whether that be, and I'm not saying that you're not supposed to be healthy. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to care for yourself and, be mindful of what you eat and all those things, because it's still the temple of God. But the value that I'm talking about is when you are working out so that you can wear the bodycon dress, when guys are working out so they can wear the shirts that show all their muscles, and you have a certain level of value that is now arrogancy and pride based off the way that your body is built or the way that you look. That is not the reverence that God wants us to have. One part of the Bible talks about bodily exercise profited little, but godliness. Let me pull that up. First Timothy 4:8, it says, "For bodily exercise profited little, but godliness is profitable unto all things." Godliness is profitable unto all things, having promises of the life that now is and of that which is to come. So here it is, the Bible is telling us, you exercising naturally profits little. It brings profit to strengthen your dirt. But godliness, which is a spiritual work, that is going to be profitable to us now and in the life to come. So when God began to just show me that, it's just dirt, and here it is, you glorify it like it's your idol, like almost got, like I was like, your shape, you're looking at the way you curved, you're looking at the way your body is curved, you're looking at all these things, and at the end of the day, it has no value. And I thought about it like, wow. So back up a little bit, when I first got saved, I took out all the extensions, I took off all the nails, I took off everything. Like, I wouldn't even wear makeup. I made sure to purposefully go and get clothes that I couldn't feel like added a whole lot of value. I completely got rid of everything that was just extra. I remember for the first time, like, really wearing my natural hair and doing my natural styles, and I fell in love with me at the very core of who I am, and not because of all the extra external things. Just really embracing the beauty of who God created me to be and what I look like naturally without all the extra fluff. So if we aren't careful, we can allow those things to define us. Having the designer bag, having the designer shoe, having the designer clothes, driving the nice car, having the nice house. We can define ourselves based off all those things. And at the end of the day, it's all vanity. Once I got to a place where I felt like that vanity was uprooted from my heart, it's like God began to tell me, now you can wear these things again, because when you put on a certain shirt, it won't change your walk. Like, she's not gonna mind.
The best word to define vanity is emptiness. No matter how much time and energy one spends in vain things, the results will be nothing of value. Vanity can manifest itself in many ways. Maybe it is spending too much time worrying about our appearance and our physical beauty, or perhaps we're consumed by what other people think of us and our reputation. So why is vanity a sin? It is a sin because we become consumed by other people's opinion of ourselves, rather than concerning ourselves with the opinion of God. Vanity assures us that the cares of the world are more important than those of God. When we begin thinking this way, we are drawn away from God, and that's exactly what sin does. It separates us from God. Vanity is really a distraction from what is truly valuable, which is a relationship with God and living out His will. Our identity should be in Christ. Our identity should not be in our outward appearance and achievements.
I remember when God told me to cut my hair. He told me to cut my hair, and to be honest, he told me to cut my hair really sooner than when I did it. But I did not understand that he was taking me and transitioning me back into being authentically confident, right? And so some days when I see myself and I'm going through the process, and this is just him bringing me off of vanity and allowing me to be sanctified and step into holiness, is that he had to conform and change my thought process in the way that I saw beauty. There was a time before where I was against wearing makeup. Like, I loved my face like this, bare. Right? I loved to see the glow of my skin and my complexion. But of course, going through this, and after now you have conformed to the world, and so now you have this ideal of beauty where it's long hair, long nails, long eyelashes, get your eyebrows done, right? It's you being made up, and now you have become addicted to this thing, right? And so I just want to go through the process with you and how that looks, because there's days where I'm like, yes, girl, yes, you are doing it, get it together. But then there's moments and I'm like, what in the world did you do? Oh my gosh, I'm a bald head skittle diddle, I look so ugly, and I want to reach for that wig, but the Holy Spirit says, don't you put it on. Don't you put it on. I can remember I asked God, I said, God, if I'm going to have to go through this,
Help me fall in love with what I see. Help me fall in love and appreciate every aspect of me, from the skin color, right, to the shape of my head, to the brim of my nose, to the shape of my lips, to the size of my hands, to my feet. Even when I don't have a pedicure, Lord, let me truly fall in love with what you made me as, because God, you did not make no junk. And understand that everybody is not going to consider you to be beautiful, and that's okay. But if you don't see yourself as beautiful, and you can't walk out of your house, and you need a wig, right? You need nails on your hand, you need eyelashes on your eyes, then it's time for you to go through your sanctification process so that God can help you be confident in how he originally created you. And guess what? You may not be everybody's cup of tea. It says Cleopatra, everybody didn't think she was beautiful, but Julius Caesar. And that just means if you are confident in how God made you and your husband loves it, baby, that's all you need. But walk with.
So, a sin that I really struggled with, that I have acknowledged recently, is pride and vanity. And I feel like out of all of the sins, like murder, lying, cheating on your wife, like this one doesn't seem so bad, right? But it is very bad. It is like underestimated, because I guess I struggled with it, and I didn't even know that I struggled with it. You know, it was there and I was blind to it. And I say this because, you know, I go to the gym, I run, I eat healthy, and sometimes when I don't meet my expectations in running and eating healthy, I feel like trash. And, you know, and I just never knew where that was rooted from. Like, where's that coming from? This feeling of disapproval of myself, right? And it was like taking me away from like God. Like I felt distance when I was disapproving of myself. And I started thinking about it, and after trial and error, I realized that it is stemmed from vanity and pride. That the whole reason I go to the gym and I eat healthy is to look good, you know, for other people. But like, why take it to the extent of me hating myself when I don't meet my expectations? Like, that's me, like, prioritizing vanity and pride because of what I think people think about me, you know, or how I look. And I feel like vanity is such a big issue now. Like, you go on social media, you see like half-naked models and they look like superb, and you're like, whoa, I need to be like her. And it's like we're brainwashed that we need to look a certain way, otherwise we're not accepted by society. And that is just deeply saddening, you know. And I decided, I haven't started quite yet, but I've decided to focus on that, you know, because it's something that I think I struggle with, vanity and pride. Like, I've decided to do everything I can to humble myself and be gentle, because that's how Jesus was. He was gentle and humble.
Vanity is something I've been working on, and I feel like it always gets looked past in the Christian community because it feels like it's not that deep, and it's so normalized with like social media and everything. And before y'all say it's not that deep, what I'm gonna say, it is that deep. The spirit of vanity is connected to pride, self-idolatry, and even modesty. It's an excessive love to be desired or admired, and just excessive self-love. Before you say, I'm so humble, I'm not vain, I guarantee you it's 90% of us right now, just because what's normalized in our generation. My story is kind of extreme. So I was an Instagram model, got up to like 100K. Like I was eating it up at the age of 19. I had famous people after me. Like it was just, I was living my life. I even had a sign in my room that just said Skylar Trinity LED sign. I had posters in my room of myself. Like it was so big headed, so vain. Even the fact of posting on a platform like of your face, body, whatever, and having people like, comment, and just, it's a form of praise. Like you having people praise you. What are you trying to be seen for? Ask yourself every time you post, what am I posting this for? Like, if it's not glorifying God, or if it's not talking about nothing, if you ain't talking about nothing, what are you posting for? I then decided that I wanted to just rebrand. I'm like, okay, I don't want to be this Instagram model no more. I'm a Christian. Like, let me talk about God. Let me do a little praying reel. Let me post verses here and there. I'm going to stop posing with my butt out. I'm going to stop, living for the media, basically. But at the end of the day, still posting that selfie, still posting regular pictures and my captions of verse. What's the goal here? It's still to get likes. It's still to get the comments. At the end of the day, I was getting paid off Instagram. Like, it's still to get the views, still to get the glory. I got to a point where I just was doing what my followers liked because I got to know them. Like my followers liked when my hair was down and curly, so I stopped doing styles in my head. My followers liked when I posed a certain way. My followers liked all the makeup and the whatever. Like, ask yourself, why are you wearing all that makeup? I'm not hating on the makeup lovers. It is a form of artistry. That's fine if that's the case, but that's not for everybody. Even for the mamas on Facebook, why do you feel the need to post all these great pictures like of your family acting perfect, whatever you posting? Ask yourself, what's the reason for me posting this? Why do everybody need to see these moments of my life? Like, ask yourself why. Is it to make my ex jealous? Is it to get the glory? Is it just for attention? What is it for? Even down to, why did you decide to put on that outfit? Is it for the certain attention? Like, is it to make your body look sculpted and nice? Like, what is it? And this is easier said than done. Like, I'm not here to judge nobody. This may be a personal conviction, like y'all like to say. All I know is self-idolatry is a sin. It might be.
Overcoming vanity, like any sin, takes time, effort, perseverance, and of course, the grace of God. If you're struggling with vanity, the first thing to do is to confess and talk to God about it. Our God is merciful and loving to forgive. If you are struggling with body image or what other people think of you, turn it over to God in prayer. Ask Him for the grace to grow in the virtue of humility and be prepared to be humbled. Pray to be free from the fears of judgment, free from the bonds of perfectionism, free from the fear of other people's opinion of you. We overcome vanity by dying to self and by seeking to God daily. I hope these testimonies were a blessing to you. Please subscribe and thank you for watching.